Hare Krishna, this is Rasikaapriti Vedabase from Healing Grace, and today we are doing the second shloka for our Gita Way reflections. So, the second shloka is from chapter 2, text number 7. So, let's quickly begin with the prayers and then we'll continue. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So let's read this shloka in translation. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava prichami tvam dharma sammudha cheta yashre hasya nishchitram bhuhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So here we are seeing a conversation where Arjuna is talking to Krishna. Okay, so there's been a lot of back and forth between Arjuna and Krishna since our last shloka. But in this particular verse, you can see that Arjuna is surrendering. And the key message that this shloka is giving us is that surrender can free us from all the confusion and chaos and bring that divine guidance we are waiting for. So, this is one of my favorite shlokas because in this shloka there is vulnerability. There is, Arjuna is not an ordinary person. He's a great warrior. He's very wise. He's very compassionate, very kind. He is a true sant, like a true good-hearted person, a true devotee. In every sense, he's a wonderful prince, but even he can get confused. That's the player. Even he is, posing as somebody who is so confused and lost, because sometimes the confusion may not come from a place of selfishness superficially, but it can come from a place of too much compassion and too much overthinking. And even in that scenario, if you want the divine guidance to guide you, then surrender is the key. Now, in the last video, we saw a question: who is my Sanjaya? Who am I asking questions to? And here we see that Krishna is being the Sanjaya for Arjuna in a way. Arjuna is asking his questions directly to Krishna, and it is a blessing that we get to see and read this conversation, and we get to even understand it deeper by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada in his purpose. So when we look at it, when we read Bhagavad-gītā, one of the mood that we can have is, to read it like a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, and not try to get too philosophical in the beginning. Of course, as you read again and again and again, every time you read, a new level of depth opens up. But to begin with, it can be read as a story, as a back and forth, as a wonderful conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. So the key point that Prabhupada is making in this purport is, a true disciple always surrenders. Now, what it means to surrender? Does that mean that you have blind faith in a guru? No, that's not what it's saying here. If you see from the pastimes of Hanumanji and Sita Devi, so when Hanumanji was looking for Sita Maya, so he also tested her, seeing whether she's actually Sita, whether she's actually devoted. And even Sita Maya, she also tested Hanuman, because hadn't Hanumanji got the ring of Sri Ramchandra, Sita Maya wouldn't have accepted his message at all. So testing of guru and testing of disciple is a very scientific and it's a very natural phenomena. And yes, we must test our guru before we surrender ourselves to them. But when we find a bona fide guru, then we must surrender, because the moment you surrender, there is a kind of energy that just uplifts you. There is a liberation that you experience in yourself, which just frees you from all the worries, from all the confusion, from all the chaos, and somebody is always going to guide you. The second point that Prabhupada is making here, that pride and ego, it blocks wisdom, and humility invites it. So when we talk about this, what is pride and ego blocking? So most of the time we may not have pride on a superficial level, but do you ever find yourself saying, oh, I know this, oh, I know that? We may not verbalize it, but internally when somebody is trying to tell us something, instead of listening, our instant reaction is, I know that, I'm doing my inner work. I hear it from my clients a lot of time. I'm doing inner work for so many ages. Oh, I have done so much. Or even Bhagavad-gītā. Oh, I have read Bhagavad-gītā so many times. But you know what? If you have read Bhagavad-gītā too many times, there's one thing you are absolutely sure of, that with every read, a new realization is waiting to pounce at you. And that is because we as human beings are having multiple layers. And with every read, the new layer uplifts and a new realization comes up. There is new healing that is happening, a deeper level of understanding that sinks in. So doing something again and again does not mean you're wasting time. It simply means you're digging deeper. Yeah, it's like digging a hole in just one place. Another thing, say for example, you may think that you have controlled all your anger. Oh, I never get angry, I'm like a super zen. Go get married. And then your partner, your spouse, starts pressing all the new buttons you never knew you had in you for anger. And then you master that, then you manage your spouse, then have kids. Next level of anger cleansing is happening, and then see them getting married. That's another level of anger cleansing that happens. So it's a lifetime process. Don't worry, it's not going anywhere so soon. But the point is that we keep working. If we don't keep working, nothing is going to happen. So today I am going to ask you two questions to reflect on. The first question is, do I surrender when unsure, or do I struggle alone? What do you do when you're unsure of things? Are you struggling? Are you being that 2-year-old child who's trying to push a 50 kg sack? Or are you going to be the one who can call out, Mama or Papa, please help me, and get the work done much easier and in a much more healthy way? The second reflection is, where can I be more receptive to guidance? Okay, now guidance come in different way. We may be open to receiving guidance as a student. We may be open to receiving, suppose somebody who's learning to cook, they may be receiving guidance from their mother or mother-in-law or anybody, like how to teach me how to cook. Or we may be open to receiving guidance. If you're learning a sport, you may be listening to a coach in the capacity of a sport, like an athlete. But there may be some areas where we are not receiving guidance. Find out that area where you could do with some guidance from an expert, and you can have a wholesome growth to your life. So let's do an affirmation today. Take a nice gentle breath in and letting it out. So when you breathe out, try to breathe out from your mouth. It cleanses you. It's a very cleansing breath. So nice deep breath in and letting it out from the mouth. And as you're doing this, you can slowly affirm, like a whisper, I surrender with humility and receive divine guidance. Hare Krishna.